What is happening, y'all?
Hey.
It's been a couple days since we chatted, but there has been a lot of stuff going on. We're sorry that we didn't bring you along to everything. It was just a nuts week.
Yeah.
But we got plenty of work to do today. It's going to be jam-packed. But before we do that, we thought we'd show you the finished, beautiful fence.
Yep.
The gate is officially open. So here's the front of the house. And so like I told you all, it shoots out over beside the beds and all the way down. So I think, at least in our opinion, it actually made the front more appealing.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people had some fear that it might not look as eye-appealing putting that fence there, but they did such a beautiful job that I think it did better.
I think it looks better.
I agree. So now we're moving to the backside. Look at this farm. Did we just become a horse farm style look? Yes, we did.
We do not have a horse.
We do not have a horse. So here's the side. They popped it right there, shot it down to where it meets where the animals are, and that completely blocked off all of that side. So the backyard and the side yard, but leaving the front open, and the dogs are loving it, and we're loving it with them.
Yes, happy pups, and they're not on the porch.
Yes. So if you're new around here,
You probably don't know our dogs, but this is Xena. She's a Great Pyrenees, and she's kind of the yard protector. She doesn't really have animals to protect because Dolly does that, but she protects us, and she barks at coyotes, and she stays up all night, and she's a really good girl, and she's, excuse you, Rusty. It's great.
everybody knows Rusty.
She is kind of the kids' protector too. Whenever they're out here, she is right by their side, making sure they're okay.
Everybody knows this guy. That's Rusty. Just always talking about it. And then that's little Daisy Doo-Doo with her little faking that she has a hurt leg.
Yeah, she does not have a hurt leg. She's faking it. She does this all the time.
So Daisy provides us joy. We actually found her when we were side by side, and somebody left her on the trail. We tried to give her back. Nobody came to claim her, so she went home with us.
Yeah.
So she's our little survivor dog.
Yeah.
Xena, like you said, is our protector and the kids' protector. Rusty has zero purpose.
Zero.
He's also the only dog we've paid for.
Yes.
Now, he was still a rescue, but we paid a rescue fee. All other
But
dogs.
we love him.
Some days. And as we go up to show you the best part of the fence, you probably have some questions on where they stay to get out of the weather. So they're really just here throughout the day, like when we know mail's gonna come, or if we have orders or friends coming over, and then we let them out and close the front gate. So they still get all the acreage, and then at night we still put them in the garage, just in case it decides to pour down rain and this and that. They still have all that protection. So this is just like their daytime area, which is about, what would you say, 2 acres?
Probably.
About 2 acres that they still get
They
throughout
have
the
the
day.
creek that they get to play in and drink out of, so they love that.
Yeah, and they got their food there. So it works out, and they get to stay out of the rain. And the absolute most exciting part of this fence, the petting zoo is huge now. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. We took the electrical fence down. Everybody's been doing good, and it is just so pretty, y'all.
We have one chicken that will not stay in.
Yeah, guess. Y'all guess who it is. It's definitely Becky. So ignore the electrical fence. I still got to put them up. That's on the docket today to do. One thing that is super cool about this, and I'm sure y'all can kind of tell, but he curved it with the driveway, and it looks so good. So he debated, and when I say he, I'm talking about Jody from French's Construction. If you're local or anywhere in the state of Kentucky, basically, for the right price, he'll come to you. So he was debating coming to a point like a square and then shooting up. And he's like, man, it would look really good if we could round it and follow along the driveway. And I was like, man, you've been doing this for a lot longer than I have. I'll trust your judgment. And I think it turned out beautiful like that. So if you're actually wondering, like, what would you call this? It's called Kentucky 4-board fencing. As you know, pretty obvious, there's 4 boards that are put up there. And then behind it, we put wire. So this is welded wire, and I know that is not ideal, but this is why. Welded wire breaks easily. So if you're just doing fence, you definitely want to get the woven, which is what all of our perimeter is. But where this is attached to the wood boards, it's not near as of an issue. They're not going to get in there and tear it up because you have the wood there. And it really reduces your cost. Welded wire is a lot cheaper than woven wire.
So this gate up here is the one that we use the most. It's 18 foot wide, so if we need to get the tractor in there, we can, or whatever we need to do. And then there's another gate At the bottom, it's just a regular size, what?
8 foot.
8 foot gate. Is that really 8 foot?
I know, it doesn't seem like it, does it?
Yeah, but that one's cool too if we want to come in the bottom, but we mostly use this one up here. And the animals are quite happy. You can hear them singing and they're out more. The babies are loving this hill over here that they're playing on. We plan on doing a playground, but for now, that's working.
Yeah.
We will still do a playground though. But yeah, they're loving it. They're out eating all the fresh grass and everything, enjoying the sun, and having more room, not having to be on top of each other. Look at that.
I think that's the best.
Becky, she's back in.
Yeah.
Here's Lucy. Say hi, baby.
And so if you've been around, I mean, even temporarily, you know that this was a big dream of ours. We love the electrical fence. It is so useful in the right time. And we still recommend it. Like, we're still going to be doing some turkey moving and stuff like that with our electrical fencing. But the fact that we can have people come over, not fear of getting electrocuted, and it's more of a petting zoo style. We are just absolutely in love with it. Thank you, Jody and team. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It really turned out well.
A lot of people asked about, are we afraid of predators, you know, coyotes and stuff like that. So our perimeter fencing has a lot of barbed wire on the top, so that's going to help. And then we do have all of the dogs that bark and keep things away. So we haven't had anything come into the yard, and I really don't think that we will. You know, chickens, they'll hop out every now and then, but they know where home is, just like Becky. They go back in.
They're like free-range chickens, and they don't get in where the dogs are, so honestly, it's like, fine, like, do your thing, just go back home.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you all, but I'm just looking behind Jen. I think I just found our thumbnail for this video. It looks so pretty. I cannot get over how pretty it looks. So last thing that I wanted to talk about with the fence, and then we'll get into doing some work today, is you see a lot of these boards painted. A lot of that has to do, actually, I learned from Pete from Anderson Homestead, that like when they do it black, I guess sometimes that deters like horses from chewing on it. I don't know. We don't have horses. We also don't like paint.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably like do a clear coat urethane over it to seal the wood and just let the natural beauty of the wood shine through. We love wood. As you all can tell, we always say we don't want to be a stainless steel farm. So we want the wood to shine, but also protect it. So that is going to be ours and the kids' summer job this year. We're going to take the time. I really want them to do most of the work and really get paid to do so. We think it's very important for a kid to have a job like that, especially a large job, because it's, what was it, over 800 foot of wood? Yeah, and it'll make them feel like they're a part of it too. Right. You know, a part of something bigger. And they put the work in too on the farm. Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be our job. We're gonna watch, but we may run one strand of electrical on the bottom on the inside for two reasons. One, for the pig, so she doesn't like try to dig under it, and also Dolly, and just kind of keep them back off the fence. We'll watch and see if we need to do that, but we are thinking about it. So far, so good though. So far, so. Okay, it just took me like an hour to figure out how to grease my tractor. Y'all, I'm like a baby learning how to crawl with this thing. Everything takes an incredibly long amount of time, but it's my first with this tractor. Like yesterday, I took the brush hog. It's gonna be a bush hog, let's just go and say it's a bush hog right here. I took the bush hog off and put the tiller on, and that took me, what, like 3 or 4 hours? I watched like 20 tractor videos on how to take things off a PTO and how to put things on. Just craziness. Well, anyways, we tested out the tiller, and my goodness, y'all, it is amazing. Yeah, pretty life-changing. Y'all, look at this tilled bed. I gotta get you closer though. Look how fine it is. Look at this. It is so fine, it's like it's sand. And also, look how rich our soil is. Like, that looks like bot soil. It is so dark and nutrient rich that we won't have to add anything to it. Like our natural fertilizer that we'll do this year will absolutely just make it amazing. But look how beautiful. So
You want me to?
So, give your take on tilling, no tilling. We're going to do all kinds of different things, but right now it's going to be a lot of tilling.
Yeah.
The one good thing about doing a tilled ground is next year, if we didn't like this year, completely let the grass grow back and just move to somewhere else. But it's extremely beneficial to us, so that's why we do it. Well, we've always had a hand tiller.
We didn't have one. We had to borrow one every year.
Right. And when I say hand tiller, it was motorized, but it was what we had.
Yeah, so that was a lot. It would take hours and hours and weeks to get it to the point where we could actually plant in it. And we had to plant like between the rain and it was a big mud pit and it was just not good. It did not make the soil good at all.
And she's talking about a size smaller than what I just showed you.
Yeah, and it was a good tiller. I mean, it was a very expensive tiller. This took, what, 30 minutes?
If that. If that.
And it's not clumped mud and clay. It's actual soil.
Yeah, and it made it so fine. It's like a fluffy pillow.
Yeah.
It's just so, and it's so deep too. It's like closer to 10 inches deep of loose topsoil.
Yeah.
So, everything you see behind us, her and I just walked it out. We are making our garden beds right now.
Yeah, well, okay. Not you're done.
So right behind us, you're looking at what's going to be our future potato bed.
Yeah.
So that's why it's completely full. And then the rest of it's going to be more of our actual garden beds where it's going to be tomatoes, peppers, green beans, and all that good stuff. So it is time to get busy. Okay, we had some friends stop by, so we had to pause on it, but I'm about to get back into the garden and start making some more. So hopefully you all are starting to see what we're doing here. So we're making rows, we're making walking paths in between to where the tractor can still get in between the rows. And I'm adding some of that nice soil just on top of a few of the beds, just to kind of rake in. And then we'll be covering with the woven tarp. I don't know if we'll be able to get that done today. But as long as I can actually get them tilled up this round, that'll make me feel really good. I also did one that's completely on the fence line. It's gonna be more for pretty stuff. Pollinator bringer-inners, zinnias, Mexican sunflowers, all the different kinds of flowers that we might want to put in there. Maybe some sunflowers because it won't add any shade to the garden. So we'll have that over there, but it's starting to come in nicely. We got 4, I want to say they're about, I'll have to measure, but if I had to just throw a number out there, I'm going to say they're probably about 60 to 70 foot length rows. And we've got 4 of them done so far, not including the one on the fence. Let's get back on the track. Okay, y'all, I am done for the day. So I just did more tilling. Now here's an important lesson for everybody to learn that does do tilled garden. If you can till in early spring, if your ground's dry enough, you're actually going to be better shape when you till again when it's time to plant in. The reason for that, it's an old wise tale, but we've always lived by it. If you can plant early, pulls the water out, so when it comes to springtime, you know, we get all that rain, when you do that last till before you start planting, it's dry. Like, it'll stay dry for you. It'll lose the water quicker. So I don't know, take it or don't take it, but we've always been told that. So on this side, so over here is what you saw me do, and then this is what I did. Now I did 4 more rows that are right here. They're looking awesome. The ground, I can't get over this dirt. I'm in heaven. It is fantastic dirt. It looks so good. That tiller did amazing. So we did 4 more rows here, and then I also did it across the fence line. And then I got 1 big plot back there. Made another big plot here. This is going to be for corn. So this is going to be our specific corn plot that we have here. It's huge. I'd say this is probably closer to 75 to 90 foot row that we have here. 4 cuts of 62 inch each. So plenty big for the amount of corn that we want to grow. Y'all, isn't it pretty? getting so stinking excited for gardening season. Like, it is amazing. We're at this new house, first time garden season here, and like it is just burning inside of me to get things going, but I'm not gonna rush around because there's a lot of work to do before you put a plant in the ground. So we'll leave them as is for now. I'll probably, every time like I get the tractor out, I'll probably run through and till it up again, just keep tilling it till it's time to actually plant it down. Then once we get that last till is when we'll put the weed tarp down over it, and then seal it up for the summer when we plant the plants. And in between the rows, I haven't decided. Jen and I will have to talk on what we think is best, but I made them wide enough for our lawnmower to just drive straight through there. Part of me doesn't want to put weed tarp down and mulch down because this might not be, 2 years from now, our garden probably will look totally different than this. It probably won't look like this. So I don't really want to put mulch down because then that's just adding some permanency to it. And I'm not ready for that yet, and neither is Jen. So we'll probably just leave it grass and just mow through it. And just start mounding up where our actual garden rows are going to be, and then just weed tarp those and mow throughout the rest. I think that'll probably be okay for this year. So y'all, I hope you enjoyed the fencing. I hope you enjoyed the gardening. I absolutely am in love with this TerraForce tiller. Like I said, I'm a baby when it comes to tractors, but I'm learning every day. And I challenge you all to make sure that you're learning every day something new. Part of the reason you're probably on YouTube, hopefully you learned a couple things during this video. But it's just important for us, garden season is very busy when we actually have plants in there, but there's so much prep work to be done before you're absolutely ready. Even if you have an established garden that's already there, make another bed. You need to be expanding every year, little by little, as much as you possibly can. Keep your head up if something's a little challenging or takes longer than you expected to. There's a lot of times this weekend that I and Jen could have been very discouraged with this tractor and different stuff that we were learning to do. But that's part of it. We're here basically by ourselves. We can make phone calls and watch YouTube videos just like everybody else can, but there is no one here to show us how to do it. But that doesn't mean that you give up. You always keep trying, you learn, and you grow.